Why experience can be a risk. Experience is usually seen as an advantage, something organizations value deeply. Years in the role, decades in the industry, a long record of success. So it sounds counterintuitive to say this. Experience itself can become a risk. Not because experience is wrong, but because it changes how people see uncertainty. Experience creates confidence. Confidence creates certainty. And certainty reduces questioning. When decisions feel familiar, people stop examining assumptions. Risk does not increase because people lack knowledge. It increases because they believe they already know the answer. This is the paradox of experience. The very thing that once protected the organization can quietly reduce its ability to see change. Experienced professionals rely on pattern recognition. They've seen situations repeat. They've handled crises before. They know what usually works. This is powerful and dangerous. When experience dominates decision-making, people stop analyzing each situation on its own terms. They say, "This is just like last time. We know how this ends. There's nothing new here." But risk lives in differences, not similarities. Small changes in context, technology, behavior, scale, speed can completely alter outcomes. Experience encourages speed. Risk management requires pause. When speed wins every time, risk slips through unnoticed. Success reinforces experience. When decisions work out repeatedly, confidence hardens into belief. People begin to trust judgment over data, instinct over signals, history over emerging reality. This creates overconfidence risk. Warning signs are interpreted as noise. Challenges are dismissed as overreaction. New perspectives are seen as unnecessary. Ironically, the better the track record, the harder it becomes to accept out. Risk management struggles in these environments because questioning experience feels like questioning competence. But experience is not immunity. It is context dependent. And when context changes faster than perception, experience becomes a liability. Consider a common scenario. A senior leader faces a situation they've handled many times before. Based on experience, they choose a familiar solution. No detailed review is done. No alternative scenarios are explored. Initially, everything seems fine, but conditions have changed. Scale is larger. Systems are more complex. Dependencies are tighter. The old solution no longer fits perfectly. Problems begin to appear. Teams struggle. Control strain. When failure occurs, it surprises everyone. The decision wasn't careless. It was experienced. But it was based on yesterday's environment, applied to today's reality. Another risk of experience is its effect on others. When someone is highly experienced, others hesitate to challenge them. People think, "They've seen more than me. They probably know something I don't. Who am I to question this?" So doubts remain unspoken. This creates a silent hierarchy of confidence. Risk management depends on challenge, but experience can unintentionally shut it down, not through arrogance, but through perceived authority. When experience is never questioned, risk loses one of its strongest defenses: diverse perspective. Experience is built in a specific context, so when the environment changes, experience must evolve. But change threatens identity. New methods feel unnecessary. New risks feel exaggerated. New warnings feel theoretical. People say, "We've always managed this way. This is just a new trend. We don't need to complicate things." This resistance delays adaptation. Risk grows fastest when organizations face new threats. With old mental models, experience becomes a shield against learning, and that is where exposure increases. Experience-driven risk is underestimated because it looks like strength. Organizations celebrate expertise. They reward confidence. They promote certainty. No one flags experience as a risk factor. But risk is not about intention. It is about exposure. When experience accelerates decisions, discourages challenge, filters warning signs, it increases vulnerability. This risk does not show up in registers. It shows up in tone, behavior, and reaction. By the time experience-based blind spots are visible, the cost of correction is already high. Effective organizations balance experience with curiosity. They respect expertise, but they don't idolize it. They ask experienced leaders, what might be different this time? What would change your mind? What assumptions are we making? They combine experience with data, judgment with challenge, confidence with humility. In these environments, experience becomes an asset again, not a blindfold. Risk management thrives when experience informs decisions, but does not dominate them. Experience is valuable, but unquestioned experience is dangerous. The risk is not having experienced people. The risk is assuming experience is always right. The most important risk question is not, who has done this before? It is, what might be different now? Because organizations rarely fail due to lack of experience. They fail when experience replaces curiosity, certainty replaces questioning, and confidence replaces caution. Experience should guide decisions, not silence doubt. And when organizations learn that balance, experience stops being a risk and becomes a strength again.